And so, you know, with the smoky eye, a lot of people think, oh, smoky eye. What do you think when I say smoky eye? What colors do you think? Black, right? Dark, black, gray. The thing is, the smoky eye isn't a color choice. It's a technique. And so today what I'm going to show you is a technique. You can utilize purple, blue, green. You can utilize any technique you want to create this look. And what the smoky eye is not black in the crease and silver on the lid. It's actually black from the lid, radiating out all the way from darkest at the lash line to lightest. And so that's what we're going to do today. And so hopefully teach you guys something a little different. I know. There we go. Plus it's loud. All right, so what you're going to do is when you lift on the eye, if you always lift at the highest point of the brow arch, when you let go, everything's in the same place. What we tend to do is we lift one eye over here and one eye over here, and then when we're done, we have two different eye shapes, right? And we're wondering, what the heck do we do? I get the same brush, I use the same eyeshadow. Why can't I get it even? But if you're doing this, it's not going to be even, right? It's just little things that you don't think about, right? Lift in the same spot, have a point of reference. If you lift at the highest point of the brow arch, when you let go, it's a little lower, but you haven't distorted the shape, right? The shape still remains the same. So you're going to lift at the highest point of the brow arch, and you're going to create a line from the natural lash line to the natural lash line. Okay? So if you do this technique on yourself, it's best that you do one eye at a time. If you do it on someone else, it's best you turn them away from the mirror because they usually think you're crazy right about now. Or you just make them keep their eyes closed. And then you just glide the pencil all the way across the eyelid, filling it in, saturating it down to the lash line. The great thing about this eye makeup technique, you can use a brown pencil. I use a chocolate brown pencil to do mine. And then the key to this technique is that all of the blending needs to be done before you put the eyeshadow on. The eyeshadow is acting as your setting powder. So it's setting whatever blending you've done. Kind of like when we put the concealer on, we wanted to do all the blending before we put the powder on. So the key to this look is that you do all of the blending first. What you're going to do is use your ring finger, because remember we talked about why we use this one. And you're going to put half of your finger on the eyeshadow, on the black pencil, and half on the natural skin. And you're just going to pull in. What that does is warms up the pencil a little bit, starts to blend it into the eye very easily. Just going to go about halfway. Don't touch the lid at all. You don't want to lose the saturation. When you get about halfway, clean your finger. I have a paper towel here on my palette. So I'm just pulling everything inward. And then I'm going to start in the center, kind of like a windshield wiper. I like to anchor myself with my pinky. And same technique, about half of the brush is on color and half of it is on bare skin. And I'm just simply going back and forth with a clean brush. So now I'm already starting to create the smoky eye. So like I said, if you do this on yourself, do one eye at a time, completely finish the eye. Before you move on to the other one, it's easier. Because you gotta kind of see what you're doing, right? Unless you can do it with your eyes closed. I've seen some people. You're gonna do the same thing on the other side, just a totally clean brush. So back and forth. If you feel like the brush is moving too much color, clean the brush, or if you have another one handy that's clean, you can use that. You wanna make sure that you leave enough white space here that acts as a natural highlight. What I see a lot of people do too is this blend, right? A lot of makeup artists. That's an okay technique, but it expands the space. Okay, what this type of blending does is create a larger space. So if you don't want to create a larger space, then you want to do more of a vertical blend. I mean horizontal, rather than this one is kind of a circular blending, creates a larger space. So once all of the blending is done, this brush is just clean, then you're ready to put eyeshadow. So you don't want to apply eyeshadow until all of the blending's done. So there's no harsh lines, and you want to lift a little bit at the highest point of the arch and pat and press in the same shape you started out with. So the half circle. And just take your time and turn the brush upside down to get right up to the lash line. I'm just creating the half moon shape, making sure that my saturation is the same depth from the lash line all the way up to the crease. And then I'm going to take the same clean brush that I used earlier. Just taking a clean brush. If you need to pick up a little black, you can. Just remember that a little bit goes a long way. So on the bottom, we're going to do the same technique. Our highest point of the blending is actually the highest point of the arch, and so we want the lowest point to be directly under that. And what that does is create roundness and open up the eye space. I'm going to do a crescent, kind of a half moon shape under the eye. I'm going to do hers a little more dramatic. You can do yours a little thinner if you'd like. As close to the lash line as possible. Creating the half moon shape. A little thinner as you get to the inner corner, and then a little thinner as you get to the outer corner, but you definitely want to connect the top and the bottom. So once all of the blending is done, then we're going to go ahead and add our eyeshadow. So I'm connecting the top and the bottom in a C shape. Just pat and press the black on so that you don't get any fallout. Sometimes also, you know, some eyeshadows, like we talked about face powders, and I'm just going to pat and press it right on the top. Sometimes with the glitter color too, you don't get that strong pigment out of it, so I like to layer something matte under it, maybe a corresponding color, something a little darker. So I like to apply the lashes and then leave myself some work to do so that I don't have any downtime. So while the lashes dry, they take a good, 3 to 4 minutes to really dry. The glue should dry clear. It's chilly right here. Look at. I like to do the bottom lashes first, so we don't have to look up with wet lashes. Sheer pink. It's a little nude. And I'm going to add a soft pink gloss over it. This is Nymphet by MAC. I always wonder who thinks of the names for these things. Those and OPI nail polishes. Must be a fun job, right? Sit around and think of the names. Somebody's got to do it. So apply the gloss. The center of the lip, do not go all the way to the lip line. Just in the center, it will work its way out as it heats up with the lip. So a little bit of gloss goes a long way. All right. Let me see. One last over, pretty good. All right. So I'm just going to do one last run through with powder. Make sure she doesn't have any spots.